Johnson with A.L. Johnson Life Insurance Agency, and this is another small business highlight. Every once in a while, we like to find gems in our community and make sure that they get the visibility that they deserve. And so I want to introduce my audience to someone that I highly respect, Miss Regina Drone from Regina's All Access Realty. How you doing this evening?
I am absolutely wonderful. Hello, everybody. I'm glad to be here.
Listen, I definitely respect your work ethic. I've been watching you for years. I remember when you actually started Regina's All Access Realty from being a solo realtor. And tell us a little bit about that journey. What was that like?
Oh, wow. It was fantastic. It was very scary. In total, I've been doing real estate for 18 years. And previously, I worked for Keller Williams for 15 years. And I knew that I needed to open up my own brokerage. And so I didn't want to do it. And I was just kind of forced out. I had a small flood in my office at Keller Williams. And I said, you know what, God, this is you knocking on my door. I better go ahead and do what you said do and open up this brokerage. And it's been all the way up from there. So
That's great. That's great.
mhm.
So, what is that transition like? Because I know what it's like being an individual life insurance salesman, right? And so, when you open your own brokerage, now you're able to expand, bring on other agents, train them, coach them. What is it that you enjoy about that part of the business?
Wow, I enjoy the freedom of just being able to coach and train people in my own way as who I am. And so I enjoy that. And I also enjoy cultivating people and showing them how to provide service at a high quality level, not just any kind of service, excellent service. So, yeah, I enjoy it. Mhm.
That's great. That's great. So let's hop into it and talk a little bit about Kansas City real estate, right? Because we know that the market has changed since 2020. And so I remember reading headlines that were saying people were putting their house on the market. There were buyers from out of state coming in, purchasing homes within hours, well above the asking price. Now the interest rates have gone up, for the majority of 2022 moving into 2023. Has that slowed down at all? Is the market any different? What are you seeing?
Yes, it has slowed down some, because I think people just have a fear, but not a whole lot. It's still a seller's market. It's becoming more of an even market right now. It's still a great time to buy. And the reason why I tell people it's a great time to buy is because you won't be able to avoid, people are trying to avoid higher interest rates. But if you're a renter, you won't be able to avoid it at all because, hey, your landlord is going to, I bet you've seen a price increase on your rent. So your landlord is going to pass that down to you anyway. So I just tell people, you know what, it's always a great time to buy. It's always a great time to sell. We just have to price that house correctly and accordingly. And I think the market is great. Absolutely wonderful, especially the Kansas City market. I'm super excited about the Kansas City market because we have new businesses that are coming in town and we are actually on the map. We are on the map to be in a, pretty large city that's, world renowned. A lot of people are relocating here.
Yeah, I agree. I think a lot of people miss out on that point. Like you made a very excellent point there. You see people that say, "Oh, I'm sick of Kansas City. I'm gonna move to Texas. I'm gonna move here. I'm gonna move there." But at this point in time, Kansas City is booming. We're the Super
Kansas
Bowl
City is
champs. We
booming.
have the World
Yes,
Cup coming here.
we
Kansas City
do.
is getting a ton of recognition. And so, of course, when you have those high profile people that live here, it's going to raise the value all the way around. And so,
Mhm.
yeah, I definitely agree with that. Now, for the people that are real estate investors, I know that's a little bit of a different mindset from someone who's purchasing a home to live in themselves. I've been hearing conversations that say they expect a market crash to come where they may be able to pick up properties at a lower price. And so, if someone has that mindset, what are some things that they can do to prepare so they're in line if that does happen?
Well, you know what? You always want to make sure you got some capital so you can be prepared to be able to take advantage of the market. You want to make sure your credit and everything is in good standing so you can push go. I do not think it's going to crash like we've seen previously in the past. but it might go down some, but I don't think so. I don't personally believe that the market is about to crash. I just believe that it's definitely changed, and you know just be prepared. If you're an investor, have your capital ready and have your credit and everything ready to go.
Makes sense. So for someone who does have that investor mindset, are there any particular areas in the city that you feel they should be looking at, for that longer term appreciation?
Oh, absolutely. Of course, you know what? Midtown, Kansas City is on the map. Anywhere that you see this tram coming through, the rail car, all of that has quadrupled. Crossroads, all of that right off Crossroads, anything that is Midtown is doing wonderful right now. It doesn't matter what I put on the market. It doesn't matter. I was talking to the Facebook crowd last week about ugly houses. That thought of, we have an ugly house and we want to get rid of it. There's no such thing as an ugly house right now in the city. People are buying those houses, they're fixing them up, and they're making good money off of them. So yes, anything that is in Kansas City right now, Midtown.
Yeah, that's awesome. So I know that you are an investor-friendly realtor. I have a lot of friends, and some of the people that watch these live streams are investors and potential investors, people that want to get into that part of the business. And so, can you kind of walk us through, with all your years of experience, what does that look like for someone who's just starting out? Maybe they're looking for their first investment property. What are some considerations, things they should be thinking about? And could you just kind of give us a walkthrough, A to Z, just really quick, of what that looks like?
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. First of all, get with somebody who you can learn from and shadow. Pick an agent that knows the area, that has some patience, because it's going to take a little extra patience, because you have to look at not only what you're buying the property for now, but you also have to look at what the ARV is going to be, what the after repair value is going to be. And you also have to pick somebody who's going to help you be able to forecast that and be able to look ahead to be able to price it accordingly, so you'll be able to hit your goal of whatever monetary money you want to make on that deal or on that flip. Okay, so you want to do that. You also want to get with you a great tax advisor to help you plan out what that's going to look like, and you want to kind of plan out everything. Don't just go in and say you want to do all of this stuff. You want to do it according to what that ARV value is going to be, because no matter what, you cannot change that location. Okay. And so that price is going to be based upon that area and that location. So,
That
yeah.
makes sense. So, making sure that the comps are in line with what you want to eventually sell it for is,
Right.
is a really big thing. And so, for someone who's new to it, being that you have the experience and the connections, tell us a little bit about the partnerships that you have. So, do you have lenders on hand that are able to help them with maybe hard money or creative financing? Could you possibly refer them to contractors, or like what all are you able to help them with?
Absolutely. I have a really nice group of lenders that I work with that will help you with hard money lending or conventional loans. I have planners as far as things to help you get uh, organized, so you, when you do go to the bank asking for this money, that you can show certain things. I have contractors, electricians, plumbers. If you are a past client of mine, you know that you can call me for any resource, and I have that referral. HVAC people, painters, you name it. So 18 wonderful years, and I've been blessed to have met some wonderful people that I'm able to co-op with and work with. So.
That's awesome. So you can help someone who, is looking to purchase their first home. You can help an investor. But let's talk about the real estate agent, right? Because there are a lot of people who see this industry, they see the market is booming, and they say, you know what, I want to be an agent myself. I want to be able to help people, buy and sell their homes. What are you able to offer to an agent from your experience, as far as, what can you teach them, and just what does that process look like to become an agent?
All right. Well, wonderful. First of all, if you want to become an agent, I hope you have a passion for people, because you were definitely entering in the service business. And a lot of people look at real estate agents as, people that are walking in heels all day and, all this money and all this stuff. But really, you are there to solve a problem and help somebody buy or sell property. And you have to have a servant's mindset. So what I do is I take people up under my wing and show them how to cultivate their business through referral, and also just how to grow your business and how to have a certain mindset, and also how to be able to establish your business from start to finish, not just being a real estate agent, but actually becoming a business owner and having your business model set in stone and actually operating and being acknowledged as an owner. So I enjoy doing that for people, because a lot of real estate agents that I talk to, they are just, flying by the seat of their pants. They are just going from paycheck to paycheck. They don't have anything separated, or they're not running like a efficient business. I show real estate agents how to run like a business, and, how to be able to pass their business down to their kids.
That's a good point.
Generational.
I definitely want to come back to that. For those of you that are just tuning in, I'm having a conversation about Kansas City real estate with Miss Regina Drone. She is the owner of Regina's All Access Realty. She's been serving the Kansas City area for over 2 decades. Very experienced. She knows what she's doing, so you definitely want to reach out to her if you have any real estate needs. I do want to jump into the comment section really quick. We got drummer D. D, how you doing? I ain't seen you in a while. She said, hey there. Mr. Melvin Lamont Brown. He's with Northeast High School in the Kansas City Public School System. Always a great supporter. Good evening to you, sir. Said it's great seeing Regina Drone as a featured guest. So y'all must know each other. That's great. That's great. If you all are currently tuning in, I just need you to do me a quick favor. If you could hit the share button and share this information with your network, because real estate is an awesome way to build generational wealth for your family. And so when we talked about generational wealth, I completely understand that. I sell life insurance, and that's what it's all about. And so can you just speak a little bit about generational wealth as it relates to real estate? How
Yes,
important is that?
absolutely. Wow. I can come at from different angles with this, but equity is something that people don't realize that they have a lot of times in the homes that we have, especially here in the city. I get calls from people all the time saying, hey, Regina, I have this house. It's not in great condition. It's in Midtown on 35th and Woodland, and I just want to get rid of it. Somebody's just trying to buy it from me for $10,000. Well, what people don't understand is generally there's equity in that property. Sometimes upwards in $40,000 and $50,000 worth of equity that you don't even realize because you have inherited this property. Okay. Find out, get in contact with a good real estate agent, a good source, and they can help you price your house accordingly in order to sell it. Okay. When you move into a property and you begin to pay down the payment, you're also building equity because your house will appreciate every year. Okay. We need to start passing our homes down to our children, or at least being able to sell our property and take the money and do something with that money. We need to stop the cycle of lost equity. And what I mean by lost equity is allowing others to come in and take our properties without the knowledge, without our, the knowledge of what our property is worth. Okay. So if you guys would like to know more about that, I'm very passionate about that. You guys can give me a call and I will walk through that with you.
Go ahead and throw your number out there real quick.
816-830-3480. That is my cell phone number. And the office number is 816-569-1934.
All right. If you didn't get that, make sure you rewind it, jot it down, put it in your important notes, because this is the lady to talk to. Miss Ryanda Hall, We love you. We love you. She said, good to see you. She is with OCD Financial, and so it's tax time.
Yes, yes,
If
you
you
got
need to
all
get
my
your
peeps
taxes
on
done,
here.
that's your lady right there, Miss
You
Rhonda
got all
Hall.
my
Thank you.
peeps on here. I'm wonderful.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. We appreciate your support. Let's stick with this topic of generational wealth because I think this is extremely important. You know, when it comes to real estate, especially in Kansas City, there are clear differences in the areas, and we know how that started. You know, so you look on one side of truth versus the other. It's changing now, but historically, there's been a big difference in the real estate values. When you go back historically, you know, J.C. Nichols and the redlining situation where we were locked out of the opportunity to purchase homes in areas that really had the appreciation that would allow our families to build wealth. Now those barriers are removed, but a lot of people still aren't treating real estate properly. As you said, when grandma passes away, she leaves a home in the city. And instead of looking at that as generational wealth and something that can be held on and even passed to the next generation, because over time, real estate always appreciates. It always appreciates over time. But we're willing to sell it. Like you said, homes going for $10,000, $15,000 that have 30, 40, $50,000 worth of equity. It's a tragedy. It's a
It's a
tragedy.
tragedy.
It
Hmm.
really is. And
It
then
really is.
when you
Yeah.
start
And
thinking about
I am here to educate as much as I can to spread the word about what's happening. And you're right about the dividing line. And one of the things that I'm doing is trying to break that by educating people. I also educate the appraisers when they call. I don't have any problem with taking the time out and asking them questions. They call me a lot. They ask for my help because they know I've been in business for 18 years and I service the city. So I get a lot of calls from real estate agents with other companies that will call me, and I open that. I open that because I would rather for it to be priced right than to be priced unfairly. So I do open that for people to call me at any time if they need a resource, or if they need, some questions answered about the inner city. Because I try to tell people that the inner city is a block by block, house by house, case by case scenario of how it is appraised and how the value is looked upon. And you're right, we have done a great job in the last couple of years trying to remove those barriers, but they are still there, and they will remain as long as there are people that are in place that are, um, you know, assessing those values, because those biases come from people. They don't come from houses.
yeah, yeah, and a lot of people overlook that. There was a report, I believe it was in the New York Times, that talked about how an appraiser would come in and they would appraise a home at one amount when they see, the black pictures on the wall, the black faces, etc. And there were a couple couples that actually went in and changed everything. They took away anything that would give an indication that it was a black family that owned the home, and then immediately the appraisal was higher. Have you heard about that? Have you seen that?
Oh, absolutely. I've seen it in real time and in real life. But you know what? It just makes my job a little harder. But, it lets me know that I am on the right path to try to help, because I will step in and offer my assistance to those appraisers and say, hey, you know what, guys, you can call me if you need my help. I'm very familiar with the city. And then I may talk to them and tell them why I did a certain thing, and they may take that into consideration when appraising, that consumer's house,
Right,
so.
right.
Mhm.
So what are your thoughts on gentrification? Right, because we always complain and we say, well, they're coming in and they're taking the properties and they're jacking the value up. But when we have the properties and we own them, we don't
Then that
increase
is
the
equity in
value.
your pocket. Yes. I think that is growth. That means that's a sign. Again, like we were talking about how our city is growing. And I tell people all the time, we're not growing any new land. There is no new land that could grow. So we have to revitalize and resurface our land and resurface our areas. So I think it's a great thing. That's what's happening right now in our city. So, I just wish that we can take advantage of it as well. We deserve to take advantage of what's happening in the city by getting our equity as well. There's nothing wrong with that.
Mm. So for someone who has a home now and they're looking at possibly increasing the value, like they want to gentrify their own neighborhood, right? From your experience, what are some of the key repairs or enhancements that someone can do to their home to really increase the value?
Number one, you want to make sure that roof is in good condition. Okay. A lot of roofers, they'll come out and they'll look at it at no charge. You also want to make sure you keep your HVAC serviced. You want to make sure that your bathrooms and your kitchens are updated and the floors and everything are clean. But those are the main things, is the HVAC system, and you want to make sure that roof is good. Foundation as well.
What about a curb appeal, like landscaping and things like that? Do you notice that, increasing the value very much, or is that just kind of cosmetic and not as important? What are your thoughts?
Well, definitely curb appeal matters. So yes, I do believe in a nice grand entrance.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Listen, you know your stuff. I love it. I love it. For the people that are just tuning in, can you just again give them your phone number, contact information, website, how they can get a hold of you if they need service?
Sure, absolutely. Again, guys, I am Regina. I am the broker here at Regina's All Access Realty. I'm located at 3269 Gillum Road in Hyde Park, Kansas City, Missouri, 64109. My phone number is 816-830-3480, and my office line is 816-569-1934. You guys can give me a call, give me a shout out if you need something. My email is my first and my last name, Regina Drone @Yahoo.
That's great. That's great. And you do something a little fun at your office. I've seen a couple of videos. What's going on with the two-step classes? What's that about?
Yeah, absolutely. I do that for a couple of reasons. I do have a big, nice office here, and I open it up. I share it with Jeff Thatcher. He does a class here. He has some phenomenal two-step people that will teach you how to two-step. And I do that because I am a big fan of family and just having a good time. And so anytime I can reach people in any way, I try to. During the break, I announce who I am. I let people know that, hey, I'm a real estate broker here in Kansas City, and if they need any help, to let me know. It's a good way to meet families trying to move. It's a good way to just meet good people. So yeah, I do two-step class Sundays from 1 to 3.
That's awesome. That's
Hosting
awesome.
it.
And so we got a comment here. Ryanda, she said, a nice big office. A nice big office. I'm gonna have to stop by. Look, I lived in Kansas City my whole life. I can dance a little bit, but I need to brush up on my two steps. So I might need to
Well,
stop by
come
for
on
that.
down, because they are teaching. They do a fantastic job.
That's great. That's great. So we're getting ready to wrap it up here pretty quick. If you guys have any questions, definitely drop them in the comments and I'll get those to Miss Drone so she can answer them for you. But there is something that you called me about a couple of weeks ago, and I want to shed a little bit of light on that. Earlier, you talked about how you take new real estate agents under your wing and you not only teach them about the real estate market, but you teach them how to properly structure their business. And from what you were telling me, you've expanded that outside of the real estate field and you help anyone who wants to start their own business learn how to do it the proper way. Can you tell us a little bit about that? What does that look like?
Yes, absolutely. Well, since I do coach my agents, I have 7 wonderful agents that work with me, and I coach and I talk to them about how to start their business and how to change their thought process about business and how it should be structured. I decided to open it up to some of the other people that I like, know, and trust. The people that, like you spoke about earlier, people that I may co-op with, or people that I may know in other industries. And it's been a wonderful success. And I just find out what their goals are, and I help them through from start to finish of a path of how to reach those goals and what they need to do. We've assigned accountability partners with one another, and we do a Zoom call in the mornings, bright and early, 6 a.m. Not every morning, but we do it a couple of times a month. So
That is nice. That is nice. And I think it's important because business isn't something that they just teach in high school or that's just innate. If you don't get the information from someone who's been there and can especially hold you by the hand and hold you accountable, it's rough. It is
it
really,
is.
really tough.
And you know what? My heart just really sinks when somebody calls me and they say, Regina, I would like to have a building. I would like to be able to, open up my business here. Can you help me find a commercial space? And I begin to talk to them, and they don't have a business plan. They don't have taxes separated. It's hard already to be able to get a commercial space, and then you don't have the things in place. So that caused me to want to extend out my hand and say, listen, you guys, you need to have a business plan. You need to have a profit and loss statement. You need to know where you stand in your business before you be able to go out and get a building, or whatever else that you're thinking about doing. Let's find out what state is your business in first. And so that prompted me to be able to do that. And again, it just falls in line to what I'm already doing and what I already love to do. So
Awesome, awesome. Really quick, what is the difference in maybe just the process or qualifications when it comes to residential versus commercial real estate? Because I know you do help with both. What are the differences there for someone who wants to purchase commercial?
well, commercial property, you do have to know a lot more things about the city, what the city requires. You may be dealing with a historic building or different zoning issues. You have to find out about different zoning and things like that. The wonderful news is we have a wonderful board, Kansas City Regional Association of Realtors. They have all those classes there for the real estate agent. And there are also different committees and everything that you can join to be able to find out what you need to do if you want to specialize in commercial property. However, there's just a lot of different things, the income portion of that, what the cap rate is in order for an investor and things like that. So there's just a lot of things that differentiate between residential and commercial. And believe me, a lot of the commercial agents, they will refer their residential stuff over because that's all they do is commercial, and vice versa. There's nothing wrong with that. That is absolutely nothing wrong with doing that. Be the expert in what what you're called to do. I'm just blessed to be able to do both of them because I've been doing it for so long, 18 years. But I think if I could give some advice to real estate agents, I think, zoning into that one thing and providing a great service is what people need to do. Yeah.
I agree.
Mhm.
I've been in the insurance business for 14 years, so almost as long as you've been in real estate. And I wholeheartedly believe that specializing is important. That's why I only do life insurance. I don't do car or
Mhm.
homeowners, because when you specialize, you're able to dig deeper in your knowledge. And it
Yes.
allows you to be a little more effective. And so y'all can definitely appreciate that. I enjoy talking to you. I enjoy talking to
I
you. So
enjoy
through this
talking to you
conversation,
too.
I've learned a lot. So you help real estate agents,
Mhm.
you buy and sell property for
Mhm.
investors and for someone who just needs a home to live in. You have two-step classes at your office, and on top of that, you teach any business owner how to properly structure themselves. And so you offer a wealth of value. That's why I wanted to highlight you, because you definitely deserve it. You definitely deserve
Thank
it.
you. Thank you. And it's
um,
all because I want to see a better community. I want to see us live great and be great. Yeah,
I
we
can tell.
deserve that.
I can
Hmm.
tell, and I definitely believe that. So we do have a question from the audience. Rhonda said this might be more of a lender question, but how do you know what the required debt ratio percentage is for each lender? How is that determined? Like 40%, 45%, et cetera?
And it is each lender. Some people have a 45% DTI, and some have 43, depending on what programs that you're going to use. I'll give you, I'll help you if you need any additional help offline, but it depends on what program, because there are different programs, depending on if it's going to be FHA, conventional, or, there can be a conventional loan with, certain different requirements. There different requirements depending on what loan package you go with.
Got it, got it. We got Marcus Bussy. It's always a great supporter. Thank you for tuning in. He's watching through LinkedIn. And so for those of you that don't know, this is actually streaming on LinkedIn, YouTube, as well as Facebook. And so we appreciate all of you. Make sure that you go to aljohnsonlifeinsurance.com. If you scroll to the bottom of any of the pages, you'll see an area where you can subscribe to our newsletter. And so that newsletter is published every Friday morning. You'll get a copy of it right in your inbox bright and early. And we always leave a lot of tips and helpful information. And in this week, we're actually going to be featuring Miss Regina Drone. And so make sure that you do sign up for the newsletter. Rihanna responded. She said, yep, that's what I was wondering for my clients when working with them with their budgeting. Perfect, perfect. Now, listen, I don't always ask the right questions and I don't know everything. And so, is there anything that I may have missed that you want to make sure people know about you and your business?
You know, that's a great statement. You know, just know that I'm here. I'm here. I came to the city because I wanted to provide a great service to the inner city. For a long time, I was I was east. I was in the Blue Springs area, Lee Summit area, because that's where my office was. I relocated at 3269 Gillum Road. I wanted to be able to provide a great quality service here for people in the city. The area is booming. You guys are sitting on the prime real estate in the area. Believe that. That's why all the changes are happening, okay? If you need my help, reach out. It doesn't matter how big or small it is. Reach out to me. My phone number is 816-830-3480. You just never know. I don't judge if the price of the house is small or not. I'm here for a service, and I'll just provide that for you. Okay, so don't worry about that part.
All right, so two things before we go. Two things before we go.
Okay.
The first thing, I need you to give a couple shout outs. I know you got 7 agents, you got lenders you work with. Who do you want to shout out and give a little praise to right now?
Oh wow. I want to shout out a couple of people. I'm going to shout out Arthur Chapman, who is one of the real estate agents here. He is fantastic. I mean, he makes me proud, and he lets me know that I must be teaching something right, because he is doing an outstanding, fantastic job. Also, one of my inspectors, his name is Jeff Bay. He does an awesome job. Jeff, you are appreciated. Brian Bowman, one of my painters, who does an outstanding job for me. I appreciate you. Also, my personal coach that I just got, I just started with her. Her name is Kay. I want to say, hey, Kay, I appreciate you so much for thinking of me and coaching me. You guys make me look good. So I appreciate you guys.
Love it, love it. Make sure that they see this so they can hear their shout out. So you got to make sure that you share it with them for sure.
I definitely will.
Awesome. And so I always like to close my show asking the same question. And I've never asked you this question before, so I'm really curious what your answer will be. Let's just imagine that like a genie's lamp fell out of the sky, fell right in your hands, you rub it, you get 3 wishes, but those wishes have to be for your community. And so you have 3 wishes. What are they?
I wish for better education in our community. I wish for equal opportunity in our community. And I wish for no violence, for us to come together in love.
Listen, I don't think there's any better 3 wishes than that. And so I wish that with you as well. Give me like a little high five through the little virtual high five.
Yes.
We'll touch and agree on that. Listen, for those of you that are tuning in, Regina's All Access Realty is definitely a company that you need to work with. Regina Drone, she has over 2 decades of experience, almost 2 decades of experience in Kansas City market. And so that means she knows the lenders you need to talk to. She knows the contractors that you need to connect with. She has the people to help you build generational wealth through real estate. And so before we close, just one last time, give them your contact information and we'll call it a wrap.
Again, my name is Regina Drone. I am the broker here at Regina's All Access Realty. My address is 3269 Gillum Road, Kansas City, Missouri, 64109. Phone number is area code 816-830-3480. Office 816-569-1934. Email Regina Drone at Yahoo.
All right, all right. If you missed any of that, all you got to do is hit the rewind button. But for those of you that are tuning in, I appreciate you. Share this as many times as possible because it does help us out and get the message out to more people about building generational wealth through real estate and life insurance. And so if you or anyone in your family does have questions about real estate, make sure you contact Regina. If you have questions about life insurance, make sure that you contact me. Visit aljohnsonlifeinsurance.com. This has been our small business highlight for the week. Thanks